73% of the population live daily on less than $1.90.
What?
Wow.
This video right here, Eric, is going to be more on the serious side. You know, because me and you, we're all about comedy, right? We bring laughter to the people. That's what we do. Like, we basically give people that were having a bad day, we just bright up their life. We bright up their day. You know, we're kind of like the sun.
Absolutely.
If you think about it.
We're like a cure, basically. You know what I'm saying? And we're free. We're free and we're a cure.
We're free because you getting this shit for free.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody paying for this. This is going to be the top 10 poorest countries in the world 2024.
Guys, at the end of the day, this video, it's not going to be a funny video. All it is obviously bringing awareness, man. We want to bring awareness to what's going on in the world, you know, to the poorest countries in the world. That way, when you eat everything in your plate. When you have two of something, you give one away. You just open your heart to the world to understand that aside from you and what you see in front of you, there's a lot more to this world. And there's people out there suffering, and you guys could play a huge role. It doesn't matter. It could be a pair of pants. It could be a pair of shoes, whatever it is. Find a way to share with the world because the world needs it. And we got brothers and sisters all around the world, man. That's it.
Number 10. Madagascar.
Madagascar.
GDP per capita,
Wait,
GPP,
wait.
current international $1, 635.4. Madagascar is endowed with some natural resources, and it is the fifth world's biggest island. Yet, they rank among the poorest countries in the world in 2024.
Really?
Majority of citizens live in extreme poverty.
Wow,
that is,
bro.
75% of the people lives on less than $1.90
What?
daily. According to World Bank, more than 25 million people are under the international poverty line. Poverty here has many negative effects on children. UNICEF states that half of the children under 5 years suffer from chronic malnutrition.
Oh my God.
Since poverty hit everyone here, children are also forced to do hard labor instead of being present at school.
Wow.
The
where
geographical
is the
location of
world
the country
when
also
things are-
contributed
in
to the poverty
situations like this?
experienced by these people.
But what
Being
can
an
you
island,
do? Wait,
the
we'll
water
talk
level
about it, though.
continues to rise, which makes it very vulnerable to cyclones. For this, they experience food insecurity and drought in a
I can't
country
see
that largely
poverty, bro.
survives on fishing and
It's
farming.
too sad, man.
Sanitation and drinkable water
Wait up.
are also a challenge here, as only half of Madagascar residents have access to drinkable water. If these
Wow.
conditions are addressed, the poverty situation in the country will improve. Number 9. Chad.
Chad.
GDP per capita, PPP.
We're here watching freaking Madagascar. I know it's a cartoon. I always pictured Madagascar, obviously the animals and the
Right.
you know.
Right.
I never thought about the actual living conditions of Madagascar.
I mean, so you know what's crazy? The thing about movies, you mentioned movies. Okay, that's a cartoon. But in all movies, most of the time they only show you the nice parts, right? Like if they make
Yeah.
a movie in Haiti, they hardly show you those kind of areas.
They
Same
will
thing in
never show you
Africa,
that.
same things, you know, unless it's a war movie or some type of whatever, but they never really show you what it really is. You know what I'm saying? They go to like
Right.
a isolated area that's a beautiful area with trees and mountains, and then they show you the place. But this is the place. It's really sad to see, bro.
It
Really,
is.
really,
It is.
really sad to see.
No, it's crazy. Anyways, Chad. I never heard of this country. It's
Never
a country
heard.
in Africa.
Okay.
International $1,590.6. The
What did
unstable
put the guy
climatic
see?
condition that can drastically change from flooding to drought, then to torrential rain is one of the main reasons Chad is among the poorest countries in the world in 2024.
Wow.
Imagine this, for a whole year the country experienced drought and then the following year, there was heavy
it
rain
never
that result in
rains.
flooding. Now, how will such a country be able to cope with agriculture and succeed? As
Wow.
regards the Global
Golly,
Hunger
bro.
Index, among 78 countries, this country is listed as the 73rd. The country has
Wow.
poor public services such as the healthcare sector. Some years back, in the whole country, there were just 345 doctors, which is a ratio of 0.4 doctors to 10,000 people.
The whole country.
This is
Rubbish.
because many here lack
Wow, bro.
education. Only about 33% of adults here are literate. The lack of
It's
proper
broken,
education is
bro.
caused
It's
by
broken.
limited human resources and inadequate infrastructure. The third reason this country is so poor is the current oil crisis. The country depends majorly on oil since 2003. But in 2014, Chad experiences a recession which brings about an increase in poverty because many public services
Damn,
projects were
man.
scrapped. Liberia.
Oh,
Liberia is
Liberia.
rich in natural resources like gold, rubber, diamond, timber, and iron ore. Yet,
Diamond.
they are undeniably one of the poorest countries in the world. The main cause of poverty here is government conflict and corruption.
Many.
The
You see?
citizens
I told-
here
what did I
experienced
tell you?
civil war
What
for
did I tell
14
you?
years.
You just said it.
Of
yeah.
course.
Since then, the country has slightly recovered
And
with
guess
few
what?
chances
The
to
government
adjust back to a
itself
normal
is probably
civilian
filthy
life.
rich.
Yeah.
The war claims more than 200,000 people's lives.
Man, it's the same
The
story
effect of
all
the war
over.
is poverty and violence, even using children as soldiers. Due to corruption, the country has failed to make use of its natural resources for the benefit
corruption.
of its
That's
citizens.
all it is. Corruption.
The biggest plague in the country, which has spread to many other spheres of society, is corruption in the administration.
Of course.
Low pay in the public sector and inadequate training,
They're
as
pouring
shown
the
by
money in their
Transparency
pockets.
International, serve as incentives for corruption. For this, there are insufficient infrastructures, such as bad roads as well as the restrained institutional ability of farmers' groups.
See, I
Number
seen
7.
Wow.
Burkina Faso.
Wow,
GDP per
Burkina
capita,
Faso.
PPP,
Wow.
current international dollar 342.3.
Where's that
Burkina
at?
Faso is a low-income country situated in sub-Sahara Africa.
Okay, Africa.
In the country, about 90% of poor people are living in rural areas. Even though the country is growing, about 40.1% of the citizens live under the poverty line.
Whew.
Especially in the rural areas, and people in cities are also experiencing poverty too.
No
Since
capital.
people in the rural areas depend solely on agriculture and what is generated from this is unpredictable.
If you're importing all your goods and you're not creating goods,
Right.
kind of like Haiti, for example, Haiti does not create anything.
No.
When I say create, they don't grow. They don't grow.
Right.
Like, yeah, you'll hear they grow a little bit of corn, a little bit of this and that.
Right,
But
right.
I'm talking about enough to sell to other countries.
Of course, to export.
Export, like the Dominican Republic, for example.
Right.
They're big. Like every time I go to the DR, when I go to Punta Cana, whatever, the food we're eating, every time I ask, where's this from? Oh, no, it's from right there. It's from here.
Yeah.
The beans are from here. The lettuce is from here. The onions is from here. The pineapple is from here. And it never ends. All the fruits, everything.
Absolutely.
Most of the stuff is grown right there. So their economy is
Absolutely.
growing.
Leading to high rates of food insecurity and
It's sad,
malnutrition
though.
in children. Instability in the country's political system has many effects on the economy, making this
see what I'm
country to be
saying?
part of
Always
the top
the
10
political
poorest countries
shit.
in the world in 2024. As time goes by, it is believed that this country's poverty state will continue to reduce if the political situation is
Of
stable
course.
and modern equipment is implemented for
Political.
farming. Number 6. Niger. It is an African
Bro, many
country
countries
situated
in
at the tip
Africa
of
are
the
poor.
Sahara, and it is one of the
Yeah.
top
All of
poorest
them,
countries
to
in
be
the world
honest.
in 2024. More than 45% of
Kinda looks like
Nigerians
the
are
place
under the
we saw
international
earlier.
poverty line.
Yeah.
The first reason why this country is poor is that per
Political.
woman, the birth rate is 7.4.
Wait,
The first reason why this country is poor is that per woman, the birth rate is 7.4. The
is that?
vast
Yes.
growing population is one of the issues here.
too many
Women
kids,
here
too many
do
people?
not take
Right,
family
right.
planning seriously.
Oh, man,
This
well,
is due to
so no
illiteracy,
sexual,
thinking it will
is
affect their body.
No sexual
Drought
education.
as well affects
basically.
the agriculture system in the country,
So
leading
they're
to
just
food
dropping
shortages.
Kids like, yeah.
The
like
last drought
rabbits.
experience in this country was in 2010, and that still affects them today. When there are food shortages, there will be few jobs that can be available, which brings this country among the poorest countries
Damn,
in the
look
world.
at that place right there.
man, boy,
It is a hot country among the hottest countries too. Another cause of poverty is the problem with the militant Islamist group, Boko Haram.
Many
What?
A country that has an imbalanced economy now has to face issues with this group. This causes more hardship in the country. Hundreds of Nigerians sought refugees within the country.
Oh, no.
Number 5.
Wow.
Somalia.
Somalia.
GDP
Bro,
per
it's
capita,
all of
PPP,
Africa, bro.
current
It's all
international
Africa,
dollar
bro.
302.5.
But Somalia is
The cause of
There's a
poverty in
lot
this
of
country is
malnutrition.
beyond its
No, they're
government's
beautiful
ability to
places,
help
bro.
its citizens.
All of
beautiful
them.
places.
The country
Look
is
at this.
affected by climate change, and they do not have the effective means of combating the effects.
Climate
More so,
change.
the country depends majorly on agriculture and livestock.
You see, agriculture.
There was a
There you
time in the country when they experienced poor rainfall for 2 seasons. For this, Somalia is at war with hunger. It is a real threat to the people. Due to drought
Yeah.
and starvation, within 2 days, It happened that 110 people died in a village in the country.
Oh my God. Bro.
Rural areas are the
Starvation?
most affected part of the
Yeah,
country
man.
by drought.
Wow, bro. Imagine
In
that,
order
bro.
to receive help,
They don't
many
have
people
food,
living in
man.
rural areas often trek to Somalia's capital city of Mogadishu, where
my
food
God.
is
All of us
distributed
here
as there are
watching
feeding
this,
centers. On the way
when
to
we
the center
hungry, we
are
just
reports
go to
of
the
children
fridge.
dying in corpses on the road as a result of starvation. Lack of
I can't hear
sufficient
that,
food
bro.
due to higher food prices,
why I eat
extremely
everything on
limited
my
wages, and unemployment are the main causes of poverty. South Sudan. Quality of life is
Yeah.
very low here, making South Sudan one of the poorest countries in the world in 2024.
Wow.
The location of the country has effects on the poverty rate. It is a landlocked country. Foreign investors and humanitarian professionals cannot easily access this country. Bad roads, especially during the rainy seasons, make most parts of the country obstructed. Another cause of poverty is due to widespread corruption.
Again with
Individuals
this
who control
corruption
the
shit.
capital
You
of
see,
the
that's what they
enterprises
all
use
have
it
in common,
exclusively
right?
for their personal
Corruption,
benefit,
government,
neglecting
no
many people who ought to gain
education,
from it.
lack of
The
agriculture.
country is poor. About 7 years ago,
And they be cutting the
66% of the
trees, too.
population are in extreme poverty, and this situation has not really gotten better. Another issue here is their belief about healthcare services. For every 1,000 births, 105 infants die because immunization is not a priority. Some
Oh,
children
my
do not
God.
receive immunization.
Wow.
Illiteracy is high with a wide gender gap among males. 40% are
Illiteracy.
illiterate, while in females, it is 16%. There is no easy access to drinkable water, and 38% of these citizens have to trek for about 30 minutes to have drinkable water.
To drink
People
water,
here
yeah.
suffer from sanitation, in which 80% of South Sudan people do not have toilets. Number 3. Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Congo.
GDP per capita, PPP, current international dollar
Well,
1,
tout côté, c'est Africa,
218.8.
Yeah, man, Africa's
DR
going
Congo
bad,
is
man.
located in sub-Saharan Africa, and it is gifted with outstanding natural resources like significant arable land. About 60 million Congolese, that is 73% of the population, live daily on less than $1.90.
What?
Wow. But keep in mind, as we're watching, he's only showing you the poor places. A lot of those countries, man, they're super beautiful. The thing is that obviously we're watching this clip. He's giving us kind of like the knowledge. But there's places in Africa that you won't see anywhere else in the world. That's super beautiful. The potential is there. The problem is, I feel like with governments, there's that element of control. You see what I'm trying to say? I feel like maybe those governments, there's no way people in the government in those countries are poor.
Nah, they be
Does-
pocketing the money,
they're
Eric. It's
pocketing the
same
money.
shit. Eric, it's
Yeah.
the same shit over here, man, in
Yeah.
in Haiti, bro. It's
Right.
the same. Haiti's just a smaller country. But it's
Absolutely.
the same shit. They be
Yeah.
stealing the freaking money, they're
Right.
pocketing money, and they're
The
not
super
helping
rich.
the country.
Exactly.
The country's political
really hard to
instability
watch,
and
man.
history of war have greatly influenced
man.
its citizens. As a result, many people are displaced. Even after the end of the war in 2003, the effect
a
has not
war?
changed. With this, lot of Congolese experience poor education, illness, and high rates of malnutrition. Number 2. Central Africa Republic.
Again, Africa?
GDP per capita, PPP, current international
Talk about
dollar 1,
PPP, bro.
20.5. Even though this country has many natural resources like oil, uranium, diamond, and gold, nonetheless about 71% of its population is under the international poverty line. It is
Bro,
certainly one of
you
the
hear
poorest
how rich
countries
the
in the
country
world,
is?
and over 40%
Of
of the
course.
population suffer from chronic malnutrition.
Malnutrition.
This
Look at
country
that.
experiences conflict and violence that more than
Bro, I think about
600,000
when I'm
people seek
hungry,
refuge
I
outside
can't
the
even
country.
function.
It always has a history
hungry
of
right
conflicts,
now.
multiple political ideologies, a variety of ethnic groups, and religious rivalries. The health issue is of great concern here too, that 882 deaths happen from pregnancy-related
doing for
issues
the
for every
world, bro? What are we
100,000 live
doing?
births. About 18 years ago, about 100,000 people are HIV positive, which has not reduced drastically.
Damn,
Other
man.
diseases that are the leading cause of death in this country include malaria, lower respiratory infections, diarrheal diseases, and tuberculosis.
Golly, bro. I can't believe in
For this,
2024
life
we're talking
expectancy
about
is
all
low,
these
which is
things.
53.35 years. Most children here are deprived of high-quality education. The literacy rate is about 37.4%.
Education, bro.
Number 1. Burundi. This country, Burundi, is the number 1 poorest country in the world in 2024,
How?
and of course
How?
in Africa as well.
How?
The
It's
poverty rate in
Africa.
the country is about 64.9% and has the lowest PPP GDP mentioned above.
He's talking about all kinds
Here
of
is the
PPPs.
reasons
I don't know what he's
Burundi
talking
is
about.
so poor.
Talking about GDPs.
First, an extremely unsteady political environment has
Of
great
course.
effects on the country,
Not
as the
surprised.
country has
But
engaged
what's up
in
with
many
all these
civil
mentions,
wars.
though?
At least the
Civil
country has
wars.
experienced 5 civil wars that claim many lives and
5
displace
civil
millions of
wars?
people as refugees.
Wow.
With this, the citizens are unable to engage in agriculture, which is the
But
main
he's showing
backbone
the nice
of the country's
area. I don't-
economy.
Yeah, I see all
Secondly,
kinds of mentions,
the government
though.
there is ineffective in the management of resources and public finances. For example, the government rations subsidized electricity as well as subsidizes fuel, which prevents the growth of the nation.
Most politicians will pocket some money, but at least if they're structured, they could still do something for the country, like the U.S., like first world countries. But with the taxes and everything, they still build the roads, they create, hospitals, schools, you name it.
So they have structure, is what
They
you're saying.
still,
That
even though
is
they're
the-
pocketing the loot, they still got structure. These countries, they
It's tough.
pocket everything. There's like F everybody. We pocketing everything.
everything. And it's crazy. It's sad because guess what, man? We're talking about people, man. The problem is we're not being fed the good. We're being fed the bad, right? And I feel like the good should stand up and put hands together and find ways to help the neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Help each other. You know what I'm saying? I think first of all, we got to take care of our home first before we could take care of anybody else, because there's a lot of poverty here as well in the US. Like I see a lot of
Yes.
like homeless around. I see a lot of homeless people here and there and things like that. So I feel like a lot of times, yes, the charities, they pocket the money, but you could find a lot of non-for-profits that you can invest to. I think the idea is to make the right research. A lot of times we got to find local non-for-profits in those areas and those countries. All I'm going to say, man, it's tough to watch, bro, because at the end of the day, I've been hungry. It's not fun. I've been thirsty. It's not fun. I haven't been, like, there's days where I feel like disgusting that I got to run to the shower. It's not fun, bro. We got to pray. We need prayer, man. We need prayer.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
bro, you just gotta help as much as you can.
Right.
And let God take care of the rest, bro. That's
it.
about it. It's an eye opener. It makes you see that, not everybody has the luxury that you have.
Absolutely. Be thankful
And you know
for
what that
you
does?
have.
Right. It makes you appreciate what you got.
Right. Be thankful.
Thanks for watching. Right. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave us some comments, subscribe, share, thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.
We love you guys. Peace.